you need. Lee Sin immediately locked in for TL, and you're talking about flex picks, Azael. This one could be, but Jensen definitely not one of the more melee-heavy mid-lane players, so I do expect it to be either Alphari or Santorin with very, very high weight towards Alphari.
Yeah, it feels like it's probably going to be an Alphari pick, but would be interesting to see if Jensen did want to mix it up. We saw him in spring, kind of pushing towards more different champions, experimenting with the Ahri, the Veigar. They talked about it on the analyst desk. So if TL feels that it is best played mid, they could easily bring that out. Rumble as well is a flex pick, but we're expecting to see it in the jungle here for Spica, though in solo queue can be quite powerful in mid lane.
And I expect this to be pretty common. As far as if red side does have to ban the Udyr, not wanting to give it up as first pick, then they on the second half do get to pick up the Rumble. Nocturne, very popular for top lane as well as being able to play in the mid lane. Again, though, there's so many of these melee matchups for either of the solo lanes that can go both ways. I do expect it to be Huni topside though, because TSM already were playing it, even before MSI up there on the top for Huni.
And it looks like TL with the Ezreal Karma, their answer is not to fully engage into the fight, it's to kite back. It's to go for this marksman who is very, very adept at peeling back from this dive. TSM is likely going to be looking more towards Kai'Sa Nautilus, full-on dive comp.
And one of the things is, Karma is one of the best counters to Rumble in a team counter sense. Not as a lane matchup, but the mantra for speed up for your whole team just gets everybody off of Rumble ultimate, plus you have the shield. Also, of course, as you're referring to, watching out for Nocturne diving in definitely can be advantageous here.
And I'm curious if the Karma actually stays down at support. I know Karma top and mid haven't been the most successful, but one of the big values of Ezreal is you are safe in a 1v2 for several minutes at a time so that your support can go roam and go gank mid. Karma ganks are not as good as Nautilus ganks, like you'd want, in a lot of cases, a different support to pair with an Ezreal.
And it is interesting because when you were going that route, I thought you weren't talking about roaming, but actually flexing the pick, right? Because we do see Karma sometimes played in the top lane, sometimes played in the mid lane as well, so we have to keep that in mind. But given the tendencies of TL, you're definitely expecting it to go down to CoreJJ, them to play a poke-heavy bot lane, try to focus on lane dominance. These guys are an incredibly powerful duo.
Yeah, they are.
Aggressive early picks here from TSM. Definitely a lot of playmaking ability. Rumble, even though Rumble did get a slight nerf to the clear speed, and you feel it early on. It does not clear as fast. Simple as that.
Red, blue, and Gromp.
Exactly. It does not, your first clear is where you really feel it the most. Still is able to join a lot of these long-range plays. Like Nocturne, diving in super deep, trying to pick people off. Rumble Ultimate is very good at, adding that little bit of extra damage or the slow to be able to keep them within Fear Tether range. So I like the possibilities here and the playmaking that TSM is looking for.
I'm curious now, you're seeing Orianna, Xin Zhao drop the table. Xin Zhao definitely a very strong jungler that I think hadn't gotten enough play, but very, very strong in his own right. You're seeing Nautilus, Leona taken away. Yeah, sure, they're getting rid of the hard engage tanks. Generally speaking, enchanters tend to be a bit weak to hard engage, and it means that Karma's more likely to be down at support, and there's a Rell.
One of my favorite combos with Nocturne, baby. You know this one, Phreak. You put the E on Nocturne, and Nocturne all of a sudden, you can snap stuns people, so the Fear Tether is guaranteed. Love it. Very aggressive look here from TSM. It is into, as we mentioned, some defensive capabilities on the side of Team Liquid, though.
Why would you be wasting that tether on Nocturne when you've got a perfectly good Tristana to jump in there?
That's right.
Get it together.
That's not the Malphite player. Whoa, we'll see about that. In this one,
Volibear, Sylas.
Like the last pickup, these are some pretty good ults to steal away here for Sylas. See what the last option will be.
Yeah, so Volibear jungle, Lee Sin top, Sylas mid. Almost certainly the way you're lining all of these up. Sylas blind pick mid. Viego is gonna be the answer to Sylas in the mid lane. PowerOfEvil will be the first LCS player allowed to and picking Viego.
Really, really good into melees. I play a bunch of Viego jungle, but also interviewed a bunch of the mid laners in the LCS. They love this champion into any melee matchup in mid lane because level 1, you just rank Q and it's deceptively long. Be able to get it through minions, poking them down, plus getting the extra passive that you get on it as well. really can be a strong mid lane early presence to play off of. Plus, Sylas does need to scale a bit more, so maybe TSM, this could be the linchpin that brings it all together, and you need to kind of build on that.
It can be very difficult to push him out of lane too. Like, this is a resourceless champion who can heal up consistently, utilizing that Q, often rushing towards Blade of the Rune King, really powerful duelist. TSM clearly wanting to dive to reach that back line, but some tough targets there on the side of TL. You have mobility on the Ezreal. 3 pretty beefy frontliners there as well that are going to be difficult to actually take down.
Always remember as well, Viego, very snowball-y champion. Want to try and concentrate there early. You get some momentum. Then as soon as you get that 1 kill, starting to reset. And the true test of Viego players, and especially since it's had so many bugs, people haven't put that as much time into it, is how well you can play everybody's soul that you pick up.
You just mash R. Let's be honest here.
Okay.
You go untargetable, you press R again. Nobody uses those abilities.
Execute him again.
I will say from experience, when a Viego steals a Xin Zhao soul, that is terrifying. He's got like a 1100 range dash afterwards. It's like, you're not getting away from that, man. Like, there are some really obnoxious ones that you can take over. Also of note, by the way, not going to matter here, but you get these reports Relic Shield. So if you gank bot lane and you kill Leona, you can just like give your AD carry 60 gold and then hop out afterwards. There's a lot of good synergies.
Typical
there.
AD carry brain over here. He's just like, how can Viego give me more gold as the AD carry?
He stole my kill. He's taking my canyon. You better share it with me if you're going to take my canyon, Viego. Well, we are on to the Rift. Here we go, the beginning of the summer split. If you did not know the rules changed this year, you carry your record forward. So 12-6 is how they went to the first 18 games, 27 more to go, and then it's playoffs and the chance at winning the LCS title all at once.
This one's going to be so exciting. Interesting to see CoreJJ has gone Spell Thief, so additional mana regen can really be a big injection of gold, but you kind of have to put yourself at risk to do it, and a lot of people would normally go towards Relic Shield, towards Guardian, the more defensive option. He has gone Exhaust here, but he's playing Comet and Spell Thieves. He wants to bully this lane.
I love that point, because when you're looking at some of these early possible plays from TSM, well, might have a delayed invade from Team Liquid.
Well, they could get wrapped on, though. TSM's bot lane could come behind them, potentially.
No one else is there. Like, I feel like you don't like the level 1 fight anyway. So yeah, they went for the Q poke. Looks to see if it was in the jungle. Anyone's doing that. Okay, no leash in the bottom side for either team.
Okay, I do want to focus on some of the early plans, though, here that we're setting up from TSM in Champ Select. Because of some of these matchups, there is a lot of focus on, can you work off of this Viego level 1 early pressure? You can see he's already trying to push the lane here. Rumble trying to push down towards this bottom triangle of the map. Tristana plus Rell combinations looking for possible all-in threats. Can they actually work off of the Viego and possible bottom lane presence?
I'm looking for it right now. Top lane is fighting back and forth. Huni feeling comfortable with his Nocturne counter pick. Says, okay, I'm good into Lee Sin. Level 2 for the mid lane now.
Yeah, this is an interesting matchup because Lee Sin, traditionally, you want to pick it, as a really strong laner. You want to be able to shove. You want to be able to fight. And while you can get the push with the Emax still, you can't really look for all-ins into the Nocturne, because with the Fear Tether, with the Spell Shield to block one of your abilities, it's very difficult to take those extended fights. So it's more about push and move in this type of matchup for Lee Sin.
Yeah, Nocturne always looking to try and Spell Shield your E. And Q plus your passive through the wave does wonders. A Rumble does do sort of a reverse clear here, just starting red and then back up towards top side after taking everything off blue. Yeah. This is going to mean Volibear is going to be the one ending on bottom side and possible Team Liquid pressure.
So this is interesting, right? So the way what basically Spica has done is he wants to play around top lane in this game because he's clearing bottom to top. So when you recall, you're going to start with Gromp up to Wolves, etc., and that's kind of his generic efficient pathing. Yeah, that ward's going to spot Santorin's would-be gank. That's not going to happen here, but it means that based on that pathing, we expect TSM to play topside.
And again, as we're looking at this Viego, as this is the new champion finally in the game.
Yeah,
love it. Well timed here. Again, I just really want to emphasize how much this does when you get to last pick it. You get to counter pick it into a melee matchup. You've seen this is the 3rd time that PoE has pushed up the wave, and here's the reason that he got that deep ward there. Seeing the Volibear, seeing the first attempt at a gank, getting that early information on your opponent jungler really does wonders.
And you guys touched on it earlier, but the ability for this champion to snowball, it's such a difference when you're playing with a winning team versus a losing team for Viego. You get access to these bodies you can pick up, turn into the other champions, and most importantly, reset your ult and get the untargetability during these team fights to become so disruptive and just sustain tank through everything.
I guess since we have some time here in the early lows, we can actually talk about some of the tricks for Viego as well. My favorite one, especially for mid lane Viego, is you cast your mist on one of the giant wrapping walls on the side, and then you channel your stun as you're out of vision. Wait for yourself to go re-invisible. The camouflage will re-enable on you if you stay in it, and then you can walk up to the edge and throw your stun out of the edge of a camouflage to try and get them by surprise.
It's a nice one. I didn't know that one. Well, right now, Alphari gets to go fight for reward. Thank you to the Scryer's Bloom from Volibear. Gets to queue back to the minions and keep going.
Ooh, they want this.
Spica level 4 looking for a dive. Level 5 across. Nice flash to flash. Is going to get away from the stun. Not going to get much more to that one. Gets the CS.
Yeah, you can do something, on Viego very similar to Vi. Any Vi player is very used to doing this, charging up, Vi's Q and then flashing and using it. Viego charging up the stun, doing a similar thing here.
I mean, you can see the bot lane. You got to look at the CS down there. It's already 14, 15 CS that they were ahead. This is becoming a bit of a problem. Yes, as Karma Ezreal, you have to be worried about a potential all-in, but when they're poked so low, they can never actually look for it. So as long as Spica is being tracked, they got nothing to worry about. And second plate's almost going down.
And
okay. Nice Arcane Shift by Tactical. He's totally safe, and Powered Q puts less than 200 again, and SwordArt doesn't do much for healing. So bot lane pressure, absolutely incredible.
And this is kind of what I was talking about, why with the matchup, I kind of expected, hey, maybe TSM will have jungle presence on bottom side because the Tristana Rell lane does rely on threatening with that all in. If you don't threaten it, versus a heavy poke duo, double range, Karma Ezreal constantly harassing you, these are the ramifications that you're seeing here.
Absolutely.
This CS lead developing.
And especially when you lose control of the side press, you lose the push, then you have nowhere to actually hide from this poke, right? If you're just stuck farming under tower, it's pretty rough.
All right, first dragon of the game, no problem. Santorin claims it, 6:05 very early on. So TL pick a duo just for lane control. And I got to point out, by the way, one of the big reasons Ezreal, I think, should be back in the meta, should be his head on an S-tier AD carry, is he is absurdly good with the new Divine Sunderer. It does more damage, heals you for more. Ezreal should always be going Divine Sunderer, and he is one of the very best AD carries with that item.
100% agree with you, Phreak. And guess what? My second favorite item in the game right now, Muramana. I think that thing is just unbelievably turbo broken. If you could build it on any champion, whatever it works with, jungle players, you play Kayn, play some blue Kayn with it. All of a sudden, your abilities are doing tremendous amounts of damage. Ezreal gets to do both of those. So definitely love the build pass for him. That does mean that you want to focus a lot on your money for Ezreal. Econ for Ezreal is incredibly important because especially the even one item but 2-item power spike is tremendous.
It's worth pointing out that as much as TL are certainly winning the bottom lane, again, CS lead 15, they've got, I believe, 2 plates. The gold is basically equal because, hey, 9 CS lead in the mid lane, 4 CS lead up top, the jungler up at camp right now as well. So we are still in a very close game between these two.
And Spica is critically now 6, so you can expect him to look for some sort of a play with this ultimate, whether it is going down towards that bot lane, trying to use the setup of SwordArt, or going mid lane. He wants to fight.
And another reason that he wants to fight, I love pointing that out, guess what? He's got the Dark Seal. My favorite thing to buy on these AP junglers, it's honestly quite efficient just for a base. And then if you do get a single successful gank off, you can really, really snowball, especially if TSM are looking to try and be proactive.
Upgraded boots there as well. Of course, certainly valuable as a jungler to run around. Worth noting, every big smiteable camp has 20 armor and MR, so Sork Shoes is actually a clear speed increase. You are not just wasting the magic pen compared to, say, like wave clearing in a lane. Bot lane, seeing each other. Core, I think he's sussed out, like, wait, I saw them missing. They might have walked in a try here. That's the kind of play where a lot of players would have just died for free in the fog of war. He's like, wait a second. All right, we see Trist, I can walk through.
It's also interesting to note that Santorin is not just going for Chem Tank, right? He's actually going more of the scrappy build, likely going towards Divine Sunderer himself. does have the Sheen already, so going to be a lot more damage than you otherwise expect. And if you're trying to dive past this Volibear onto the squishy Karma and Ezreal, like TSM wants to do, well, he can make you pay for that.
And it's one of the champions that can actually utilize it really well, getting a lot of sustain out of it since the healing was also buffed a lot.
Okay, ult's in, ult's away. That's going to be PowerOfEvil living. Ult for ult, not the worst thing ever, but Jensen's cooldown should be shorter.
All right, let's see about this Scuttle Crab, though, here. Jungler face-off. Spica's got his double buffs, though, in his bottom lane. Also, capable of moving up with plenty of CC, so Spica going to be able to run Santorin off of it. Love how, you know, the Smite does 900 damage nowadays after transforming it, as well as being able to take off Scuttle Crab shield. But Spica critically saves it, possibly for this gank here. Looking for a little bit of an opening on TL's bot. At
that point, it actually was uncooled, and he just smited the blue buff on his way down, so couldn't have smited off the shield. I looked at the two. I was like, I'm curious. It's going to be like way faster if you do this. But he's like, oh, you can't. Okay, it's fair enough.
It's so nice for champions that couldn't get it off before.
Like Rumble. Rumble needed buffs, obviously.
Rumble. Kha'Zix is definitely one of the best. You actually just one-shot crabs off. You just smite Q it with your isolated Qs. Yeah. All right, let's take a look, though. Volibear always does like to get early action. Hasn't really been able to accomplish you know, anything as far as influencing lanes quite yet in this game. But we are looking still for the first use of some of these big long-range ultimates on the side of TSM. Nocturne ultimate, you know, maybe with teleport coming back up, or with the commitment here to the possible Rift Herald fight. You see the recall from Lost, so TSM would probably want to just avoid this one.
Okay. It's TL with control of everything right now. Their gold actually going their way more and more now. 300 gold lead to Team Liquid. Good job there. The bot lane, 20 CS now the advantage as we see the Kindle Gem come through. Yes, indeed, that is the Divine Sunderer build path, who wasn't expecting anything else, but worth just double-checking that is indeed what he's going for, so that's obviously going to be a strong build down there. Everfrost coming through for Jensen, and Blade of the Ruin King first item for PowerOfEvil across the mid lanes.
It does feel like this first attempt for TSM is going to be very important. You know, they are playing a little bit of a less traditional comp here, you know, very heavy on the dive, relatively low range overall. You know, it is the 4 melee champions, so these comps tend to struggle in the later stages, especially reaching someone like the Ezreal when you're protected by that Karma. Exhaust is there too. So I do think TSM is going to have to kind of pick their moment, and it's just a question of when do they want to fight? Are they okay giving up the next dragon? Do they wait till number 3, or are they ready to go now?
And whenever you do have those strengths and weaknesses in your composition, so much does pivot on the support player here. SwordArt trying to set up, because TSM have loads of damage. They are not lacking in damage in any aspect of it, and so a lot of it is on SwordArt, you know, getting that big setup for them so they can get the first kill to reset Viego and try and snowball that fight. Dragon, though, number 2, will be picked up without contest here. Really like how they also deeply warded through the red jungle pre-dragon here. Good dragon setup from TSM. And you saw Huni as well. You know, if you pay attention to the minimap, Nocturne hovering away, very far away from Lee Sin, so you can't get interrupted. The possible Nocturne ultimate plus teleport is always very scary coming from top laners, because you can shut off the lights, not allow your opponent to answer with their own teleport.
You mentioned Engage a little while ago. I'm interested to see that SwordArt has rushed for the cooldown boots, actually. I feel like you don't commonly see that on tanks, but it's going to give him way more flashes. Obviously, Engage tools on Rell are not that strong normally.
Exactly, and he knows that they're going to be very reliant on him setting up the fight, right? He's got to find that perfect engage, snap everyone together, lock them into the equalizer. Rumble comes over top, Viego comes over top, and everything can go your way off that perfect engage.
Meanwhile, I love what Team Liquid are doing here. Slow and steady on the bottom side. Tactical and CoreJJ have been mining gold here. They actually use the Rift turret as well on top of this turret. So there's only a single plate left on the bottom side.
Of note, though, CoreJJ has not earned gold very well. SwordArt's the one who's actually like turned over his support item. His Sightstone's up. CoreJJ's still on tier 1, so despite the lane pressure, he hasn't earned much gold on Karma.
Yeah, and that tells me that he's just a little bit hesitant to actually step into engage range. Of course, you will eventually get that 1k gold, so it's not the end of the world, and maybe just wanted it for the mana regen, but it is the trade-off, right? You know, you go Relic Shield, you get it guaranteed. If you go Spell Thieves, you've got to put yourself in danger to farm that gold.
Yep, end of the day, finally gets it now. Yeah, one of the upsides of Spell Thieves is that if it's a good matchup, you just get the gold way faster. You can get like a 13-minute tier 3. Like, it's actually absurd. He's 13 minutes tier 2. Like, as you mentioned, yeah, he's had to be more fearful, hasn't been able to just chain out of the turret. So, okay, he's the one kind of on the downside here. Divine Sunderer done for Ezreal. Huni pushing topside, gets plate number 1, and is there going to be a backstab? Because Rumble's coming in behind him.
Yeah, Alphari's here, but...
Ult's back, flashes away, but they're still going to just land CC. Rumble over the top, going to force him away because here comes the teleport as well. Kick to disengage. They should be safe unless PoE pulls a magic trick out of his hat, and they will not. Couple of cooldowns for either side, but no kills.
And you always, when you have a play like this, have to look at the opposite side of the map because that frees up Jensen on the Sylas. And you see the roam from Jensen. This is very good play down to the 1 turret tower here. They can either dive Lost or push him out.
4 seconds to get the plate. They're not going to get it. Instead, it's going to be the jump forward. The heal is burned, and the auto. A solo kill, first blood lost. Show him how it's done. But now he's got to run away, and he will get shut down in the end.
Oh, what an outplay there from Lost. Keeps the tower alive, clears out the wave, and Tactical had the moment of hesitation. Do I try to finish the tower? Do I go for the kill? He kind of split the difference and ended up paying for it.
So big from Lost here. A player that so many people have been looking at on TSM, coming in, filling in double lift shoes. And in that situation, there is only one way out, Azael. You got to fight your way out. He does exactly that.
Charge!
Goes right at Tactical. You know, shows him how the Malphite Tristana is supposed to be played. Right in on his face. Gets the first blood. Just honestly well played here. He sees, he knows what's coming because you see that control ward up on the opposite side. So Tactical taking 3 turret shots. And Lost is like, you know what? I'm right in there. Perfect. This is my way out. We'll blow down the door. He gets the first blood. Yes, he dies in a blaze of glory, but first blood acquired.
Well, and I love that he actually used the explosive shot on the minion wave, right? I think in a lot of situations, people would have used that on the enemy champion, realizing that they're going to be into this fight. Instead, quick thinking immediately clears out the wave and makes Tactical take way more damage from the tower than he would have from the explosive shot.
Yeah, it's really worth, you know, the quick thinking there. Because you saw, as soon as he saw with that ward, Sylas coming over, immediately he's like, all right, this has got to be my only escape plan.
Make this across for the top laners. Stride Breaker as expected here for Nocturne. He just needs to make sure he can chase things down. Gore Drinker, the more standard option for Lee Sin, that you can go different directions in both those cases. Either way, we are items across. Divine Sunder, yes, indeed, is in for Volibear. That is definitely one of the items of the patch. Certainly very, very strong. It's getting people off of Chem Tank in a lot of cases.
Yeah, it's interesting to see that PowerOfEvil is going kind of the more defensive option. He's going shield bow here. This is very much the drain tank style. You know, a lot of times you do see more offensive options here with the Mythic and going more into the Blade of the Rune King on hit style, but this is going to allow him to scrap, and he's going to be fighting against a lot of melee champions, the Lee Sin, the Volley, the Sylas, and just looking to straight up drain tank.
Yeah, might be for competitive, you know, the extra shield allowing him to survive. Team Liquid first position inside the river, though, and that's a stolen Rumble ult.
Couple ults over the top, flash away from SwordArt. Nocturne ult turns off the lights, the TP coming down as well. Will he find a useful target? Jumps in at the Lee Sin. Of course, pretty tanky, though, overall. Not going to mean much. SwordArt hits the back line, equalizer over the top, locking him down. That's a bunch of damage. 2 for 0 so far to TSM. Looking at the third as Lost jumps in. Can't quite find the kill, but they're still on the chase. It's a 3-0 to start, or a 2-0 to start, I should say, as it's still TL running for the hills, running for their base. They will live. But TSM take the fight. They take the dragon.
And the critical aspects we were looking at for TSM's composition, Phreak, right on point. They use the Nocturne ultimate. They kite back under the cover of darkness. And then, as soon as the teleport completes, they go right in and SwordArt on the Rell, the one who had to lock them in place for the Rumble ultimate. Spica is able to get his off there, and TSM are able to get Dragon number 2. Well kited for the initial engage from Team Liquid, as they were the first ones into the river here.
They were, right? They're looking for this initial play. TSM back it up. They kite out the equalizer, and Huni arrives with the TP, goes immediately in, and then SwordArt from the brush, snapping them all together. Equalizer layered over top.
Burns them all down there. You can see Rumble shining here. Spica is able to chase him off. He's not even level 11 yet, but he's able to get his Flame Spitter going, got the overheat on top of the ultimate, just the barbecue in full effect.
All right, well, TSM's barbecue's got them off to a good start in summer, honestly. 700 gold lead now as well, up to the Dragon. Gonna be a while till Soul, sure, but it's feeling good. Riftmaker has come through. for Spica, so he's going to feel good. That's a change from Night Harvester that we saw so much in the MSI for the most part. And Mythics are done almost across the board, waiting to see now if, as time goes on, Core's shields can make that equalizer look a bit better.
Now, this last fight also makes you think about the flank angles for Team Liquid, because that was a straight up trying to just run down TSM. And yet, if you look at their front line, it benefits so much from getting flanks. You know, Lee Sin highlight plays, always coming from Warthog, flashes.
TP coming in.
Teleport might be a good one here on to BOE. This is looking rough for him.
How fast can he walk? Not easily. This Cloud's not going to do anything to really get him away from the vision these guys have. Kick back, shield bow popped. How good's life still going to be? Not that strong. Jensen finds himself the kill. Good help from Alphari, but Herald and a turret dying at the other side of the map.
Exactly. It hardly even feels worthwhile. You get the one kill. We'll see if they can get more here in the mid lane. But if you're giving over a tower and the Herald for just the one kill, TSM's going to be really happy about this. And they will be able to defend mid here. We'll see if they want to look for an engage of their own.
Yeah, the best they can do is poke. Honestly, their engage tools are Volibear running at you and Lee Sin acrobatics, maybe. But otherwise, hard engage is... I mean, Jensen could take Rell ultimate. Like, yeah, like you kind of, but like none of those are as good of tools as just SwordArt's kit.
I like how you always want to leave the door open, though. Hey, Lee Sin might do a crazy backflip over here. Watch out, Warthog into flash.
I've seen that. Fudge did it.
Let's keep our eyes open there. Jensen as well on the Sylas. We've seen him repeatedly steal this Rumble ultimate, which is a very good team fighting ultimate if you can get the engage or the flank from one of your other teammates. If you can't, maybe he actually switches it up, steals a Nocturne ultimate, or even looking for a Rell ultimate to try and take that mantle on himself. It depends on how Team Liquid are actually able to control some of the vision and actually get those possible angles.
Yeah, I think the Nocturne ult situationally can be really powerful, right? If Huni is going to be your TP, if he's out in the side lane and you can get a hold of that Nocturne ultimate, you delay the global response from coming in if you want to start off a play of your own. So we'll see if he can find a situation for that. But for now, it just feels like we're heading towards a collision course for this next Dragon, right? TSM have gotten 2 straight. TL is going to want to put a stop to this Infernal Soul stacking.
Attempted red steal, going to be claimed by Spica. No smite required. I believe it was down for a second anyway. Regardless, walking back, going to look for some chickens. You know, again, more barbecuing. It's a good flavor as the mid lane wave gets hit with some spells.
And I want to highlight the timing of this push from TSM. There's 1 minute and 20 seconds left on the Dragon, so what they want to do here is immediately take away the defenses of Team Liquid before Dragon setup. They have a full minute now to actually get their recalls off, reset with control wards. Now the mid tower is down, so they can push in, get their control wards here, and make sure, hey, there's not going to be a Lee Sin backflip behind us. There's not going to be, you know, these crazy angles for Team Liquid to get in. So this preparation, I think, even though nobody dies here in that play, the timing and choice there from you know, TSM to utilize that Rift Herald was quite good.
And now TL does not have the bastion of safety that is your mid lane tier 1. There's more opportunities for flanks of their own and for plays of their own. Lost here, though.
Gets the chain, forces the flash, lost ults to get away. He's going to live, sure, but a nice acrobatics there to good start from Jensen.
I mean, you lose your flash for pretty much nothing. He just straight up walked into range of Jensen there, gets his rocket jump interrupted. Now he doesn't have it.
Nocturne over the top, hits Ezreal, has to burn the flash to get away, was afraid of being feared off. That is Stride Breaker at work, and now Volibear, Santorin flashing to get away as well, but here comes Rell. SwordArt starts it off. Equalizer finally able to be cast. 1 for 1 so far, though, as he's already picked up 1. PoE side is now, he is Santorin. That is not actually the best champion to be right now, so ult's right back out. That's now going to be on cooldown. 1 for 1, I do believe.
Yeah, it was interesting because TSM saw Jensen finish his recall there, and so that's why they pounced on it. But Team Liquid turning it around, getting the 1 for 1. Dragon burning quickly, Phreak.
Looking to attempt it, no smite available. Easy grab for Spica, making it their 3rd Dragon. But the re-engage, is it good? A couple of bits of damage come through from Tactical, but he's been slowed down. That means there's not much more to be had. Are they going to jump the wall? Looks like they're afraid, a little gun shy. Health bar so low on TSM. And they know, right? They're throwing the skill shots over. Is someone coming around?
They're chasing. I mean, Alphari wouldn't be still going if they weren't chasing.
Here we go. They've stolen an ultimate. Rumble over the top does not catch much, but it does make Spica burn the Zhonya's. Karma puts on the shield, puts on the haste. It's time to run away. Zhonya's active is all they get. And oh, Tactical. Dangerously low. Thankfully has a shield and able to survive the explosive charge.
TSM should be able to get a nice reset off of this. Yellstar, you know, is able to revive and get back to them, so full safety there. Spica's Stopwatch, well used to turn this one around. Let's go way back, though, to the initiation. This was after they saw the recall complete from Jensen from the Sylas, so that's why TSM went for this.
Exactly. I mean, both flashes were forced off the AD. Santorin did buy a lot of time there with his stopwatch, would have otherwise gone down immediately. It is the trade of kills, but the critical fact was TSM killed the opposing jungler. They only lost their support, so they guarantee the Dragon are now at soul point. And when you're playing these dive comps, Infernal Soul is so incredible because the shields are not going to save you when the damage gets too high.
Yeah, if you one-shot him and he can't hit the button in time, or you're not in range of the Karma, sorry, it's too late. You can't shield it any later. So that window gets closed a little bit, and that's going to be something to watch for, absolutely. And especially without any real tanks on the team. Obviously, both Alphari and Santorin building more fighter than anything else. 140 CS Volibear at 23 minutes is not exactly rich, so he is easy to kill for the mages on the team. Mostly just the Rumble, to be honest. Zoni is now done, so stopwatch that got broken. That's, you know, back and fully repaired. Good repair service, and now we wait for the mid game to move forward. 3 minutes till Dragon Soul.
Yeah, honestly, I think Spica's a great one to highlight for TSM because the Rumble ultimates have been on point thus far, and it's definitely been a question. How much time has each jungler put in on some of the newer jungle champions here? Spica seems like he always is able to pick them up quickly and really provides that versatility that this team looks for. Now he's got 5 stacks on top of his seal as well, and chasing through the jungle.
Stun lands, but it doesn't mean all that much. Honestly, CoreJJ even saves the mantra. Doesn't even bother going for the bigger shield.
Yeah,
just pops Australia's active.
Don't love the equalizer. I mean, even if you want to go towards the Baron, it's almost like a poke equalizer. But the Viego stun is not going to lock you down long enough to really get good value there. So now there is a window of opportunity here for TL where they can play more confidently, move forward, try to pressure this tower, because TSM's teamfight is so much weaker without the equalizer.
Team Liquid constantly spending globals to check out the Baron Pit. We saw the Ezreal a while ago, Blue Trinket now used as well. They got a second one, and they have Tree Shot Barrage back up in about 10 seconds, so they're not going to be too worried about Baron sneaks, but it has shown TSM have been the ones to own that part of the river. Ultimately going to have to walk away yet again.
Continuing on the Rumble too, though, I do really love, especially with the recent buffs on Riftmaker, he has gone with the Conqueror, so there's a lot of actual healing if he can make use of some of the time where he can deal damage. You get chucked out like that, though, makes it very dangerous to be able to get into position to do some of that damage and get your life back.
And I think when you're looking at, 3 people with Conqueror, you're looking at innate lifesteal as well for Lost, double lifesteal items for PoE. You need some healing cut, right? And I'm not really seeing anything over on the TL side just yet. I want to see an execution or something in there.
Yeah, I think Core tries to go towards the legendary for it now. The engage top side, big damage onto Huni. Maybe bit off more than he can chew. Equalizer pretty much perfect. Nocturne ult stolen and gets him with his own medicine. Re-engage comes across. Jensen burns a W, pops the Zonius, has another W, keels right back up. But the ulti is enough to execute. Now PoE can be on the chase. You thought Viego was toxic? How about when he's Sylas half the time? As it's time to go back in, though. TL flash forward, one auto attack. That's enough to shut down Rumble. No more tools left for damage. Santorin walking away. Here comes Tristana. Lost on the chase, finds the kill on Tactical. The resets keep going in. They've got a Volibear now as well, and SwordArt is on the chase. He flashes in, flings him back, finds the stun, a double kill for PowerOfEvil.
That's what you've been waiting for. Viego has made it to pro play, baby. The resets keep on coming through for PoE, and those team fights are just so fun to watch when they get the kill onto Ezreal. That is such a critical soul to steal, because then you get the Arcane shift forward as well, and you saw PoE, no hesitation there. That's going to be big rewards for TSM.
Yeah, swapping through them one after another. That is the Viego dream. You're piling in, you're getting the kills, and SwordArt had so much confidence with the re-engage after Spica had been pushed out of that fight. TSM, they get the big team fight win. They get the Baron. Let's see it one more time.
Okay, so this is the initiation, and Team Liquid Jensen here, as well as Santorin, immediately focusing on Huni, and they buy a lot of time as well. Stopwatch coming through here to wait for Alphari's teleport actually looks pretty decent for them, but then PoE gets his first kill. We don't get to see it because guess what? That's Infernal Soul on top of the Baron. TSM have so much power, Phreak. They're going to come running straight through looking for that TL base.
They're going to get a lot done here. I feel like at this point, they've still got plenty of time left on the Red Bull Baron power play. That's 2 minutes and 20 seconds. Infernal Soul going to make the team fights easy. TSM are in such a good spot.
That last team fight was so fun to watch, but I really love how it illustrates how careful you have to be as a threat, as a carry for the opposing team in giving up a vulnerability. If you flash forward on Ezreal, if you give up that soul, that is going to be so dangerous. You know, for a Viego team to pick up. But very well done by TSM to get those resets for them, and now they get to reap the rewards.
All right, mid lane tier 2 falls. Gold lead up to now 5, almost 6,000. It is 6 if you round, and we'll see what turret's next. Looks like top lane maybe.
Yep, you can see the pings up towards that top side. They want to steal away the jungle, get all the waves pushing in their direction, and really expand the gold lead. This feels more like a Baron, where you're trying to just extend the advantage, and less like you are really going for the throat and trying to get in the game here.
Well, Santorin tries to run forward, of course. Not getting a whole lot done with that one. Easy rocket jump away. Lost feels totally safe. And they can try yet again. Top lane up being pushed in by Huni. Nice sidestep there. Doesn't get by True Shot Barrage. Blue is attempted. It's wanted. It's claimed. What about the re-engage, though? Equalizer. Lights out as well. Paranoia. Zonya's going to immune some of the fear, but not all of it. Easy second stun. No. Jumps back. Gets attacked. Should just live, but the turrets are under fire. Top lane tier 2 is gone.
I was a little bit surprised Yellowstar doesn't try and ult out of that. Maybe it's on cooldown. I can barely see.
SwordArt, you mean?
Barely, yeah, SwordArt. Barely see the screen there. Don't know if he would have been able to suck him in, but regardless, they get the tower afterwards and a bunch of rewards. You already see almost 4,000 gold off that Baron power play, even though they don't lock up any more kills.
Bit more jungle control, and we still wait for everything to tick down. 4 minutes to go on Elder Dragon. A fairly similar time for Baron, honestly. As Infinity Edge comes through for last, he's huge on 3 items. That's going to feel good. Tactical actually moving towards Frozen Heart. Keep in mind, the range of that aura is 700, so he's almost always going to be in range of affecting Huni and PoE and all these people, but that is just getting a little bit more max mana to make sure he's got a little bit more Q damage. It's very durable.
Yeah, I mean, it just feels like he's trying to just survive the dive, right? Viego, Nocturne, Tristana, everyone piling in on top of you, feeling the pressure from that, going a bit more of a defensive option here, and PoE wrapping around on Jensen, who does not have his Zonias.
But not going to be attacked any further. PoE did not land the stun on the dash forward, so okay, nothing else to be had. Off we go. Ran doing zone, by the way, also done for the Viego, one of the other items that got buffed in the recent patch. So yeah, frontline looks good if you're not taking magic damage.
It is kind of scary to dive this Team Liquid composition as well, because they do have a lot of delay and sustain on their team. So TSM definitely hesitant here. They don't want to risk the game, even though they have a lot of damage, a lot of power here. Nobody is super tanky to be able to tank these towers. So they're just boxing Team Liquid in. What you want to do is deny them any extra gold here. They're mining all of these jungle camps, trying to increase the time here that Team Liquid have to stay boxed up and don't have a lot of options available.
All right, mid lane under fire, 4 shots in, down to half health from the turret, still willing to siege. Bit of Ezreal poke puts SwordArt at half HP, but they're gonna be fine. Wave cleared out, turret at 1/3, and an easy step back for TSM. 2 minutes to go to the next objective.
Well, we'll see exactly where TL will move forward to fight. It does feel like it's likely going to have to be at Baron, at Elder. If you give up one, it often feels like you're going to be losing the other in this position, which may just be a bit too much. They're going in, though.
Trying again, they find the stun, very nearly killing off CoreJJ, but he lives. The siege then continue, though, as it's a 5v4 to push it down. Ezreal not quite spell shielded by Huni. Lights go out. Is there even an engage, though? It's going to be tough. Okay, it's the ult away for PoE, but you are taking this fight without CoreJJ around. This can be dangerous. They still get the shutdown. They knock down SwordArt, and looks like the re-engage might still happen. Alphari kicks him over the wall. Volibear flash to chase. They find the second kill. Just what TL needed to get themselves back into the game.
Let's see if they can actually push much on this, though, because they've been boxed up for so long by TSM. They've got all waves pushing against them. There's a minute and 30 seconds left on the Elder Dragon. There's a minute left on the Baron. So, yes, it's really big to get some kills, get some gold back for yourselves. But because the map has been controlled for so long, there's not a lot of extra objectives to grab.
Absolutely not, but at the very least, they will have time to get the waves going, hopefully get some vision over on their side to try to look for that fight. Here it is one more time. Jensen going in, really well-timed stun from SwordArt, but he goes down immediately, and then Alphari just sees the angle. And when I initially saw this kick go through over to the Raptors pit, I was like, it's not going to work out, is it? But Santorin, no hesitation, flashes over, Jensen chains over the wall, the Q comes through from Alphari, works out very well.
Yeah, that flash also kind of doubled for Santorin. He got over to get the kill, also got away from PoE, who was charging up the stun there on Viego. He's out of there as well.
Okay, well, we still got this game state of 5,000 gold with a Dragon Soul. That is TSM's lead. They are very much in control. They're going to the top river, but they don't own all of the wards. There's a decent set of vision for TL, which means they can surmise some of this. They don't know for sure. They know Baron spawns right now. And indeed, True Shot Barrage hits him for a bit of damage. So it's time to go for the team fight. 7k health already. Alphari walking up. They got to get in there pronto. 2,500 equals over the top. Here comes the team fight. They're going to get off the Baron and take the battle instead. Volibear dives into the backline. Rell catches on to 4. And it's time for the backline to die. TL are running away for their lives. Ult comes in. Huni will not fall. Tactical, though, knocks down SwordArt. But nowhere for Jensen to go. Has to flash and dash. Get away. Does live. Huni not going to channel the recall. Finally does go back for it. 4v4 on the map. Somehow TL get away with a 1-for-1 against 5k gold and an Infernal Soul.
Yeah, and will someone be willing to actually start up Elder here? It looks like TL want to reset, but that does give TSM an in, and they're actually TPing for this. Huni is trying to get behind these TL members.
Okay, Nocturne ult is down, so is the flash. Alphari, Jensen TPing right back in. Scuttle actually goes to Team Liquid, making that easier for them. Tactical feels safe to jump in, look for a Q, doesn't find it, but we are going to be into a 4-on-4 with no smite on Team Liquid. It's a 90-10 at worst, but a damage towards Huni, stays alive. In the back line, Alphari gets a kick, but not much more. Flash to safety, but may have just lost his life. He's running low, burns a stopwatch. How about the re-engage? How good's it going to look? Gets a shield, still an equalizer, gets some zoning tools as Santorin has respawned, but so has SwordArt. We know he's coming from the top right. He's coming from flank angle, so TL moves off to the left, gets away from that one. Lee Sin now pushing into the mid lane. Only 2 turrets taken the entire game so far for TL. Looking to get a third maybe at some point.
So much can be won and lost here off the poke from Tactical. Ezreal with red buff has been able to scale extremely well to this point. You see Tactical trying to play a very offensive look here through the river to gain some sort of advantage, chunk somebody down for on the side of TSM.
Remember, levels don't matter. Smite is just 900 flat. Here comes the dive yet again. Rell plus Nocturne finds a bit. Huni dived upon, gets killed. Big shield, traded 1-for-1. Both top laners are dead. Here about the re-engage. Santorin down to 800. Dive in, comes across. Shield pop, the ulti. He's going to die before he lands. Big damage out of Lost, and now suddenly they've got to win a 3v4. Lost jumps backwards. Health bars are low. Is the fight going to be good enough, though? PoE dropped low. 1k health. There's the dragon, and it's now too late to win the fight anymore. They've got to get away from the Elder Dragon.
Tactical just couldn't get in and actually finish off those kills. There were so many low health bars on the side of TSM. You almost feel like maybe they should have just risked it, try to go in for it, because with the Elder Dragon buff, TSM is surely going to get the Baron.
Again, we're coming back to so much healing on the side of TSM. Really need some grievous wounds being applied on some of those targets so they can't, get that healing right back up. PoE here, right back out over to the Baron, and TSM aren't going to stop with that.
Blue Trinket spots it, but they're ready to go for this fight. And yeah, all the important champions basically have the Elder Dragon buff on. You can see the map movements in the minimap in the bottom right corner. TL are not even interested at looking at Baron. They confirmed it was happening, said, okay, it's yours, touche, we'll see you later. Only a minute 40 left on Elder Dragon, so maybe they can withstand some of that, but this Baron siege will still be very scary.
I mean, this is as strong as TSM gets. You have the Infernal Soul, you have the Baron, you have the Elder. You want to end the game now. Pretty much any fight you can take is going to be a good one over on their side. So it's going to be up to TL to wave clear and decide how much are we willing to give. Are we willing to give 2 inhibs? Are we willing to give 3 inhibs? When do we take that fight?
Well, they're diving in now. That's going to be an easy inhibitor given away, but the rest of it might be a bit more difficult. Now, top lane's in a decent spot, but bot lane is not. And waiting on Elder Dragon. 1 minute left on that. That's kind of the buff that makes you never take a fight. Baron itself is not so many combat stats you can't win a battle. Clearly we've seen TL fight them close. But for the next 50 seconds, they really can't contest much. They can wave clear, even that's a bit slow.
Yeah, Tactical again, once you can see him trying to do something with the poke.
They find the stun, they find some damage. Equalizers, big damage as well. Shields come across, not going to be much more. Out they go, but that is going to be the inhibitor lost for sure. Still 40 seconds on Elder Dragon, but that's going to be TSM backing up. They don't care about Nexus turrets.
I like the aggressive move there from TSM. don't waste any time. Drop the Nocturne ult, drop the Rumble ult, push TL off the tower, take the second inhibitor, and now look to pressure that bot lane. They shouldn't be able to get anything more done with this Elder, but they'll still have the Baron buff, still have Infernal Soul, and 2 lanes of supers.
And remember that we are carrying over our spring split records to the summer split. Everything is put together. TSM tied there with Team Liquid. This would put them up alone in second place there, tying them with C9 until their later game of the day. So definitely a meaningful one at that.
And here we go, looking to get some meaning out of the bot lane as we've got 1:12 left on the Red Bull Baron. That's almost certainly going to be the third inhibitor. It's more fightable, Azael not quite going to land. Nice try though. Huni gives the thumbs up. Yeah, it's mine. Should be the inhibitor dying, depending on how hard TL fight for this one. The wave clear again can be mediocre. Nocturnal, Rumble ult, will they dive? No, just to push them back, but that's enough to kill off the turret. So now, if you can't fight for that one, do you take the next fight? With 2 ults down, maybe you have a chance, but Santorin's on a half HP and can no longer reliably engage.
And it's just so difficult. You look at the mini-map, supers are getting close to the TL base in the mid lane. They're pushing up in the top lane. So TSM doesn't need to rush it. Play this out slow, claim the third inhib, and the game gets so hard from there.
But down 2 ults means they're not really willing to team fight anymore. On the TSM side, with Karma Shield, the health bars are fine for TL, so just using minions for Siege means they will not get the last inhibitor. And the fact that they're afraid of no turret with Baron speaks some volumes towards TSM state.
Yeah, I mean, Lost got chunked to 50% here. Now life stealing up.
Huni dropped fairly low, gets the Sterix popped, ulti comes across, puts him down to 500, does not have a lot of good ways to heal, but he does have TP and a Baron recall to get right back to base. Crucially, only 3 seconds left of the Baron buff.
Man, Tactical is doing a lot of heavy lifting here. He is poking them out constantly, trying to threaten them, but TSM is pushing in. The Nexus towers are under threat. They're looking for this third inhib still.
Jensen's peeling away, they know this, they know they can take that fight. PowerOfEvil tanky enough, Nocturne comes in, going for the dive yet again. They find a couple of stuns, that's big damage on the CoreJJ. How about the re-engage? They're right in front of the rubble of the Nexus, and there we go. Huni's gonna drop for 1, Guardian Angel gonna be popped for a second. A good fight so far. A shutdown comes in for Tactical, and he's staying alive so far. They're looking pretty good on this one, 5v3, but can the disengage work? CoreJJ stays alive, Alphari at 50 health, a big shield for SwordArt, but it's time to shut them down. The kills coming through so fast. 1 man left alive.
And they do it! Team Liquid defend their base at the last second here. 1 inhibitor left. Tactical just moving deep into that team fight. Ezreal coming into the back lines, baby. And TSM, they can't get that single kill. The 1 kill they need for PoE to get the reset.
I mean, that was huge, and Alphari set so much of it up, getting lost incredibly low. And with the Tristana push out of the fight, it allowed Tactical to fly forward. And they are on the push here now, still 30 seconds on Spica, because they didn't have the waves going their way. They will collect gold, they won't collect much more. But watch Alphari in this. When he gets back in onto Lost, kicking him out of the jump, being able to flash on him, get him incredibly low, and then the follow-up comes through to finish him off.
And while he's taking down the enemy AD carry, Huni's just getting pelted with damage. So 2 kills early on for Team Liquid, and there's so many extra answers that they have. Alphari with the GA got back up, gets back out with maybe 20 HP there at the end.
More than 0.
Yeah, exactly. Positive number of HP, and Team Liquid don't drop a champion here in their defense.
And let's be real. Oh, I love this, by the way, CoreJJ. Yes, the item is outstanding. The new Wardstone is very, very good. If you're level 13 on a support, buy the new Wardstone. It is always good for you. Just FYI, free info, always buy it. Tactical, of course, very durable now. On the Ezreal, as we mentioned, Frozen Heart is done, Guardian Angel is done, Divine Sunder in the inventory, but Elder Dragon is being hit. So can TL win this fight? 6k health. When does the battle begin? Huge set of CC from SwordArt, not anywhere to go. Tactical only has armor, and he burns down to the Rumble. Guardian Angel pop. Can he get away, though? Santorin barely will live. 1 for 0 so far. Zonia's pop. 2 for 0 so far. PoE can't do enough damage. SwordArt, can he be chased down? Lee Sin Q's going to land to get the shield, though, and then knock down the top laner. Alphari going to lose as well. 2 kills in for Spica. TSM turn around that fight from their jungle.
And Lost is still there. They're actually going towards bot lane. They want to threaten the game-ending play. There's no Baron recall here, but TL are resetting, and if you see the reset, then you go to Elder yourself here. So it's becoming this little bit of a game of chess.
As ult spots, Fog of War is the one difficulty. With chess, you know where the pieces are. This is Stratego, and right now TSM doing a whole lot better.
it looks like they have Tactical going up for maybe a red buff or something up there by the Baron, with 2 members of Team Liquid recalling to defend the base. With the inhibitors being exposed, they give up the Elder Dragon. TSM now will have Elder number 2 for second round of a possible Baron fight. Look at this, the teleport's available there for PowerOfEvil. Huni's is still on a low cooldown, but it looks like Alphari will have to walk his way over as well.
And TSM clearly are still in the advantage as far as map state, as far as the state of the base. They have the Infernal Soul, but even with these super buffs, they're really struggling to end the game. As Ezreal has gotten more and more durable, it is so difficult to actually deal with Tactical, and Tactical is playing these fights so aggressively, stepping forward, looking to poke you out, daring you to dive onto him. And though they forced out the GA in the last fight, they haven't been able to crush through and end the game.
Exactly. The Guardian Angel was so critical in the last fight because that was a well-executed dive onto Tactical, but they can't kill him twice. They only have enough juice here with Nocturne, with Rell combination, Rumble Ultimate to be able to kill him once. Now with the Guardian Angel not being available for Tactical in round 2, and having both of the Uber buffs here on the side of TSM, they're coming once again to try and finish that job.
The front line's looking pretty good on the TSM side, of course. You've got the Zhonya's, of course, done for a while, but Randuin plus Spirit Visage in for Viego. Zhonya's is done here for SwordArt's Rell as well, so can even immune even more damage. And now we see the next siege. Inhibitors are back up, but it's Elder and Baron yet again. Elder on for a minute, Red Bull Baron for 220. And now we get to see this siege play out. Nocturne dives in, they find the stun, they force the flash away, and Rell finds 2. Frontline dropping soon. Goodbye to Alphari. No, he gets the shield, and he still drops. He still dies. 1 for 0. Tactical finds the chase in for a kill. Jensen needs his Zhonya's, but he's stunned up. He cannot do anything but be feared and die. And it's time for TSM to siege. Tactical will get attacked. He will almost certainly drop. And yes, that is 1,000 gold shut down. It goes to SwordArt for claiming the last hit, and the rest of the team is surely to drop. It is CoreJJ against the world. TSM worked as hard as they possibly could for it, but they will knock down the Nexus, and they will get revenge on Team Liquid.
TSM and the boys of Summer, they open up Summer with a victory over Team Liquid, getting some revenge for themselves after the mid-season showdown, but more critically, one of those very, very hard-fought wins over a top-of-the-table team, moving them up into tying for first with Cloud9.
And I love that they brought out a very different look here right off the bat. Heavy engage, looking for the dive, aggressive options here for TSM to kick it off in Summer. And man, does it feel good to be back.
Yeah! You got them right there. I can look over. It's like, oh, I see them on the screen. They're bowing. Wait, that's right over. Oh, hi, it's those guys.
I gave him a wave because usually they wave to the crowd, but there's no crowd here, so I'm like, yeah,
we're in the crowd now, baby.
We'll just wave to them. That'll be the camera shot. It's just over us looking backwards, and you'll just see my bald spot. It'll be great. Azael's got just that. Either way, TL, I don't know what that was. TL